When did saving my son's life mean destroying my own reputation? The hospital called at 11:32 p.m. on a Friday in October. My phone vibrated against the nightstand and I grabbed it before the second ring, my heart already racing because hospitals don't call this late unless something terrible has happened. Dr. Patel's voice was steady but urgent. Mr. Lawson, your son Daniel was admitted through the emergency room 20 minutes ago. He's in critical condition. You need to come immediately. I was dressed and in my car before my wife Lauren could finish asking what was wrong. Daniel was supposed to be at college 3 hours away, studying for midterms, not dying in some hospital. I drove through empty streets doing 80 where the limit was 45, my hands shaking on the wheel. Lauren called Daniel's roommate who said Daniel had collapsed during a party. Someone had called an ambulance. That was all he knew. I made it to Memorial Hospital in 19 minutes. The emergency room was fluorescent bright and smelled like antiseptic and fear. Dr. Patel met me in the waiting area, a thin woman in her 40s with exhausted eyes. She led me to a consultation room and closed the door. Your son is in acute liver failure. We've stabilized him for now, but his condition is critical. He needs a transplant within 72 hours or he won't survive. I couldn't process the words. Daniel was 19 years old and healthy. He ran track. He didn't drink or do drugs. How does a healthy kid go into liver failure? Dr. Patel pulled up test results on her tablet. The toxicology screen shows high levels of acetaminophen in his system. Over 15 grams. That's more than 3 times the toxic dose. Did Daniel take pills? Was this a suicide attempt? No, Daniel wouldn't. He's happy. He loves school. There must be some mistake. The levels don't lie. This much acetaminophen doesn't accumulate by accident. Either he took a massive dose intentionally or someone gave it to him. I need to know which so we can properly treat him and report to the authorities. I told her I didn't know. I needed to see my son. She took me to the ICU. Daniel lay in a bed surrounded by machines that beeped and hummed. His skin had a yellow tinge I'd never seen before. Tubes ran from his arms. A ventilator helped him breathe. I stood there feeling my entire world collapse. Dr. Patel touched my shoulder. We've listed him for emergency transplant, but the wait list is long. Even with his critical status, it could take weeks to find a match. He doesn't have weeks. I know. That's why I'm asking if you've considered living donation. You could be tested as a potential donor. I didn't hesitate. Test me. Whatever he needs, I'll give it. Dr. Patel nodded. I'll have the transplant coordinator come talk to you. There's a process, medical evaluation, psychological screening, but we need to move fast. She left, and I sat with Daniel, holding his hand, watching his chest rise and fall with mechanical precision. Lauren arrived 40 minutes later. She took one look at our son and started crying. I explained everything Dr. Patel had said. The liver failure, the acetaminophen poisoning, the need for emergency transplant. Lauren gripped my arm. They think he tried to kill himself? I don't believe that. Neither do I, but the toxicology doesn't lie. Someone gave him those pills or he took them. We need to find out what happened. The transplant coordinator arrived at 1:15 a.m. Her name was Joyce Brennan, efficient and compassionate. She explained the living donor process. We'd need to verify I was a match, run extensive medical tests, psychological evaluation, legal consultation. The surgery was major. They'd remove a portion of my liver and transplant it into Daniel. Both of us would face significant recovery time and risk. I signed every consent form she handed me. Started the blood type verification right there in the ICU. Joyce said they'd have preliminary results by morning. I spent the night in Daniel's room watching him breathe. Lauren dozed in a chair. Around 3 a.m., 2 police officers arrived. Detective Frank Garrison and his partner, Officer Nina Okoye. They needed to ask questions about Daniel's condition. We stepped into the hallway. Detective Garrison was maybe 50 with gray stubble and cold eyes. He asked about Daniel's mental state. Any signs of depression, suicidal ideation, drug use? I said no to everything. Daniel was doing well at school. He called home twice a week. He was excited about his classes. He had friends. He was happy. Detective Garrison wrote in his notebook. The hospital reported a possible suicide attempt. When someone ingests 15 grams of acetaminophen, that's not an accident. That's intentional self-harm. Unless someone gave it to him without his knowledge. Garrison's expression hardened. You're suggesting what exactly? Poisoning? I'm suggesting we don't know what happened yet. My son isn't suicidal. There has to be another explanation. Have you talked to his friends? The people at the party? Officer Okoye said they'd interviewed several students. Everyone claimed Daniel had been drinking but acting normal. Then he suddenly collapsed. No one saw him take pills. No one admitted to giving him anything. Joyce found me at dawn with preliminary results. You're a match. We can proceed with full medical evaluation today. I'll schedule everything. How long until we can do the surgery? If everything checks out, 3 days. Maybe 4. Dr. Patel said Daniel had 72 hours. Every minute mattered. I told Joyce to schedule whatever she needed. Lauren went home to pack bags and make arrangements. I stayed with Daniel. Dr. Patel came by at 8 a.m. with more concerning news. Full story is linked below or on my channel.